welcome. Eclipse season begins this month. We've got a change of season with the spring and autumn equinox. Yeah, a lot going on. Welcome, Libra Rising. I'm your Cosmic Girl 101. If in-depth, detailed analysis connected through the wisdom of the planets and astrology is your thing, connected to your rising sign, your Cosmic Girl 101 has you covered. If that's not your jam, I appreciate that. This video may not be for you. Okay, Libra rising. Venus, if you're a Libra rising, she's your ruling planet. She rules the first house. She's the lord of your chart. Lucky you. You are a cardinal air yang rising sign. Now on to the slower planetary transits. First for the month. On the 1st of September, Pluto was been retrograde, but it's been retrograde for you in your 5th house. And on the 1st, it retrogrades back into Capricorn, your 4th house, before it goes direct on October 11. So your 4th house topics, Libra rising, is home, family, real estate, property, anything to do with ancestry, your sense of sanctuary, like what is a place that cushions you and makes you feel calm. This is what the 4th house is all about. It's where we get rest. It's where we really do just drop into being in an environment that really supports us. That's the 4th house. Anything to do with parents or subjects of parents and parenting is also highlighted in your 4th house. So Pluto's retrograding back here for one last time in your lifetime. And it goes direct on October 11. So any of those aspects of your life is what you could be slowly transforming, culling, re-establishing. Where's the wealth connected to the 4th house topics for you? On the same day, Uranus now starts its retrograde in Taurus, your 8th house. It trines your 4th house. So this is good, because the 4th house to the 8th is about sanctuary, family, your dwelling, and the 8th house is shared resources and assets, finances. So that's a nice link up for you as a Libra rising when you have this transit and these planets slowing down in these houses to give you the time, the space, and we'll call it an opportunity to readjust and recalibrate any issues or nuances that need to be discussed, sorted out, and closed out once and for all. So Uranus slowing down in your 8th house will make you feel a little bit more settled in your nervous system and trying to iron out any nuances that have occurred there that have been disruptive, quite explosive in your 8th house topics of shared resources with significant others or your own assets and your money. Uranus slowing down here will give you a feeling of, I have time to get back on top of anything that's been pretty acute or out of the blue that may have occurred for you. And then it goes direct on January 30, 2025. The other continuing slower planetary transits for the month of September, Neptune's still continuing its transit in Pisces, your 6th house of the daily grind. It goes direct on December 7. Jupiter for the month of September is direct in Gemini, its detriment sign, your 9th house. And Saturn's retrograde in Pisces, your 6th house as well, and goes direct on November 15. So you have two slow-moving planets that are in your 6th house of the daily grind, services, your health, pets, career, co-workers, contracts. This is the house where we have a lot of integration and energy connected and shared with other people. So these two slow planets retrograde here for you are having their moment to eliminate, disseminate, disconnect from anything in those 6th house topics that are holding you back, draining you, making you feel sluggish. This is really the long-term stuff I'm interested in. This is what's you possibly could be navel gazing about or considering And these two slow planets are transiting here in that sixth house of work. Now on to the luminary, the moon, for the month of September. It's an interesting month for the moon. On the 2nd, we see the beginning of the eclipse season with a new moon in Virgo, your 12th house. Libra rising, a new beginning, setting off the eclipse season. Now, the eclipses between Pisces and Virgo that are going to play out over the next 3 years for you is your 12th house and your 6th house. So what begins on the 2nd of September in your 12th house heralds, if you will, the trumpet is blown about what you are ready to begin that's going to take 3 years to play out. And it's in your 12th house. International and foreign connections, things from far off places, people and faces. Hospitals, institutions, psychology, working with your mental health if you have any issues or any mental health subjects of interest to you may come across your table. This is where the house that's also to do with hidden enemies. So whoever you're connecting with on the 2nd of September, use your instincts, trust the gut, use your intellect, and really do your very, very best to try to feel out whatever you're beginning here on this day with a particular person, environment, institution, feels like it's got the legs, the staying power, that's safe, secure. It feels almost like it's a pure connection is the only thing I can suggest for you on the 2nd of September with this new moon in that 12th house of hidden enemies. So you want to be able to intelligently navigate your intellect, your psychic side before you begin anything new. Because Virgo is very stable, it's very earthy, and it's also very mutable, so it can change and flex and adapt. So we want some sort of certainty, whatever we're beginning here on the 12th house, don't we? Because this eclipse axis is for 3 years. And also the 12th house is the house where we have rest. It's where we retreat. It's where we go on pilgrimages. We go on long distance journeys. We get deep into our esoteric practices, our spiritual parts of the self, where we find God, whatever your God may be. This is the house where the new beginning is taking shape and form. On the 17th, we have a partial full moon lunar eclipse for you as a Libra rising in your 6th house in the sign of Pisces. Your ruling planet, being Venus, is exalted in that sign of Pisces. So I think this is going to be really intimately connected to you, your physical body, yourself, your identity, the image you're projecting. You're also your psychology, how people see you. So when you're having a full moon in your 6th house of services, work, career, pets, anything to do with your health, it's as if you're showing a very sensitive part of yourself or revealing some very sensitive parts of your physical body and your psychology to your workers, your co-workers, services that you're connected to. I think people are going to be seeing you in a very different light than they've possibly thought they was what you were projecting. It almost feels like a contradicting image is being exposed, that people are now going to be seeing you in a different light on the 17th of September. Yes, if you've been keeping things on the down low, this may be the day where you make a stark revelation that really hits home with people and throws them off because of what you've been possibly dealing with or trying to keep from view or keep intimate to yourself. This is the day where things are trumpeted, if you will. Now on to the other luminary, the sun. It's transiting in Virgo, that 12th house we've been discussing. Now the sun for the month of September, then the sun is solar people, people in authority, people that are strong, people that have an optimistic disposition. The sun is very life-giving. That's what the sun is. It provides illumination. It gives us a sense of, wow, it's a new day. The sun's up. Let's get out and get about. Let's do this. But this month in September, the sun's cranky. It's just standing off against Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune. It just feels like the sun is bothered. So let's get into what houses they are occurring for you. What's the sun annoyed with as a Libra rising, what you could be dealing with? Someone in your life that just, yeah, is grating on you. On the 8th of September, that sun in your 12th house is opposing retrograde Saturn in your 6th. So what's the sun opposed to? Saturn being really slow, putting the brakes on regarding 6th house topics. The sun is encouraging you to take a break, let go, release something in the 6th house topics we've just been discussing. Pets, work, services, co-workers, health, anything to do with energy that you're giving and giving and giving and exchanging with others. The sun is saying maybe it's time to cut off. This is what you could be experiencing on the 8th. Now the sun, facing off with Saturn, it's not pleasurable. So you've got the luminary that is very optimistic, very bright, life-giving, and Saturn very isolating, very deep, very much to do with being cautionary, takes its time, and there's wisdom in that. But that Sun is opposed to all that, taking that time. So there may be almost feels like an energetic pull going on with rest, work, against work, or things that have been intimately connected to you that isn't public is trying to be pushed out to the public. So a difficult day on the 8th of September. Then on the 12th of September, the sun is squaring Jupiter. Now, Jupiter in of itself, this planet is very life-giving. It's very abundant, very optimistic. It's all about creating order out of chaos. So when the sun's squaring Jupiter in your 9th house of international and foreign, far-off people, places and faces, legal aspects of life, anything to do with lawyers, solicitors, for example, litigation, significant documents connected that have like a bind to them by law or by word of mouth. It's very important. Media, publishing, higher education institutions, universities. This house is where we develop philosophical aspects of life through lived learned experience or education, and spiritual practices where we spiritually connect. So when you have the sun stand off from the 9th to your from your 9th to your 6th house, from your 9th to your 12th house, what you could be dealing with here with the sun squaring Jupiter is an over-optimistic view about expanding and far-reaching people, places, and faces. The sun, which is in your 12th, in Virgo, is asking you to be a little bit more flexible. Maybe you need to adapt on this day, but it grates on you. I wouldn't write off, if you will, contemplating some very deep spiritual, esoteric beliefs that you have developed or had for some time comes into a bit of a check moment on the 12th of September. On the 20th, we see that Sun opposed retrograde Neptune in Pisces. So the Sun is opposed to Neptune, basically being really slow and visionary about the day-to-day and who it connects with. So again, it feels like the Sun is encouraging you to step back from responsibility, just retreat. And Neptune, retrograde here, we've got that Sun just going, we can't wait anymore. We need you to step back. We need you to go overseas. We need you to get into a hospital. We need you to open up your eyes, especially about open enemies. We need you to look at things. And that Sun just doesn't like retrograde Neptune that's committed to the day-to-day with work, co-workers, colleagues, services. So another difficult day to navigate on the 20th of September. On the 22nd of September, we see the beginning of the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere, which is a star. And in the northern hemisphere, we have the beginning of the autumn equinox, which is Mabon. So a change of season. All of us on the planet feel, and we know, we've been on the planet for a little while now, it's not our first rodeo, that there's a change of season approaching. And it arrives on the 22nd. So even people around you will be going through some changes and adaptations, as you yourself will also, Libra rising, on the 22nd. You're going to be feeling it a little bit more because that Sun on the same day is then going to ingress into your first house until October 22nd. So you now have the Sun, a very strong Sun, very optimistic, life-giving Sun, illuminating your first house of your physical body, your self-image, how people see you, your character, your psychology. The Sun here is lighting up you for 4 weeks from the 22nd of September to October 22nd. Feeling better, feeling rejuvenated, getting your life force back, if you will, being very public, a lot more attractive when the Sun is in your first house. You're standing out like a sore thumb. So if that's something that, throws you off a little bit, this could be a difficult transit for you, but you can expect your social life to increase, your visibility to increase. And if you've been feeling lethargic or a little bit off in regards to your physical health and vitality, the Sun here will certainly give you an energetic boost. And you may also be taking on a lot more responsibilities as well, changing things up, how you're being known and seen in a very different and very strong way when the Sun is transiting your first house. On the 30th, the Sun conjuncts Mercury. A Sun-Mercury conjunction is a change of mind. It's that proverbial metaphor of, a light bulb moment. Aha. So you making a decision that's about yourself, your body, making a declaration publicly, or you have something to say. There could be a travel aspect connected on this day as well. Anything to do with important paperwork and documents may need your attention also on the 30th of September. Onto our personal planets. Now Mars will typically represent your partner in your natal birth chart. It'll also represent where you have conflict, where you have a lot of passion, interactions and occurrences. Opening up the month, Mars is closing out its transit in Gemini, your 9th house, and on the 3rd of September squares off with retrograde Neptune in Pisces. This is hitting a snag and not having clear information connected to services, co-workers, pets, your health. That's affecting long-distance travel, litigation, anything to do with law. education, media, publishing. Just a difficult day to navigate, and especially if it's got anything to do with your spiritual parts of yourself. Could be up against what you do day to day, or services, or even with work. It's like the values are off or aren't connecting on this day. Yeah, watch the 3rd of September. It's only a day, but it could grate on you. Then on the 4th of September, Mars leaves Gemini and ingresses into Cancer, which is, Mars doesn't operate so well in the sign of Cancer, but Mars is still doing Marsy things. Don't get me wrong. It's just a little bit more tempered and cushioned in its abruptness and drive for passion and conflict. So that's not such a bad thing, huh? This transit lasts until November 3rd. So from the 4th of September to November 3rd, Mars is going to transit in your 10th house. And this is your profession, your public image, how people see it. It's like, oh, that's Libra rising. They are a makeup artist. They are a hairdresser. They are a human rights activist. It's how people know you, connect you professionally. It's your career. It's also the place of authorities, governments, for example. These sorts of institutions that are larger than us, if you will, that we have to connect with at times. This is the 10th house. So when you have that rambunctious, robust, passion, argumentative, conflict-driven planet transiting here in that 10th house, but tempered and not so strong, this is where you could feel a lag, not so inspired about your career or your professional life, or having trouble with authority figures. There could be some steamy moments of conflict, or a significant partner, because Mars can represent a partner in your chart. Your partner could be going through an ordeal, if you will, with someone in authority, an institution, or even their career could be hitting a snag. So this isn't the most optimistic transits. Mars is my planetary ruler. I'm not particularly looking forward to it, but what I do understand astrologically, Mars in Cancer wants to protect, wants to make something tangible that it feels connected to from the heart. It's very passionate about protecting the heart, what it loves. That much I can tell you about this transit. So there's an element of being confrontational, if you will, about what you love and what you want to protect and nurture and look after, if you will. So these are the subjects you could be dealing with, or a partner could be going through with career, professional life, your image, and authority figures. When Mars on the 4th of September to the 3rd of September is transiting here. In your 10th house, it squares your first house. So what does the square mean? You're trying to balance out something about you, your image, your body, who you are, how people see you. It could be conflict going on from the 10th to the 1st house. Forewarned is forearmed. That's why we love astrology. It helps you navigate and assist with times, or understand when the waters are choppy. Definitely waters are choppy with Cancer being a water sign and Mars stepping into its sign. But it gives us a vision, if you will, of understanding what could be occurring. So this is why we love astrology, I believe. That's why I do. Okay, and then on the 30th, Mars trines retrograde Saturn in your 6th house. So this could be a turnaround in a slowdown of adjustment time. Adjusting things with the day-to-day with co-workers, people in the workplace. Things could feel a little easier to navigate if there's been some blow-ups, if you will, or some abruptness going on since the 4th of September. On the 30th, things seem to be settling, if you will, and the nuances are easier to iron out on the 30th of September. Let's talk about your ruling planet Venus for the month of September, Libra rising. Now, she does rule your first house of your body, yourself, how people see you. It's your psychology. It's, wow, that's Libra rising. They are very Venusian. So you're all about being social, creating balance and equality and fairness. There's an ease about you as a Libra rising, easy to connect with, easy to be around. And at least that's how people see you. You may be very different. That's how people see you. Very social, very approachable. And wherever Venus is transiting and the house it's transiting and aspects it's making is always going to be pointing a finger towards you because it represents the self. Venus also, apart from the general broad stroking explanation of the planet Venus, is she's about relationships and love. That's a pretty shallow a pretty shallow description of the character of the planet Venus. And as she rules your first house in yourself, you may strongly disagree or you may very well agree with that. Venus is about connecting. She wants to unify and she likes to be cohesive and appreciates things of beauty. She's also about attraction. She's attracted to beautiful things or her personal beliefs or sense of what is beautiful. Venus will try to connect and unify with that. So there's a lot more to them. Oh, she's the planet of love and relationships. She is. But she's a lot more. Venus transiting in Libra, your first house, opening up the month of September. You know, being in her domicile sign as well, Venus loves being in Libra because Venus is about creating harmony, creating cohesion and unity, is very connected to the Libran topics of justice, balance, equality, fairness. And Venus is also, at some degrees, and I'm not totally sold on this, but she does represent finance as well, to some degrees. I lean more towards Mercury being connected to finance, but that's a personal astrological view, if you will, or opinion. Okay, enough rambling. On the 5th, Venus and the Moon come into a conjunction, so there's something very harmonious landing on this day, connected to your body, your image, how people see you. This is where you have a spa day. You get your hair done, you get something done to the physical body that really gives you a sense of harmony and balance and beauty, and aware of how attractive you are, and you may be attracting a lot of attention on this day on the 5th of September. On the 15th, Venus trines Jupiter, so the two benefics in a trine, fabulous day on the 15th for everybody. But because Venus is your ruler, this is really going to lift you on high, if you will. Venus is trining Jupiter in your 9th house of people, places and faces that aren't in your immediate environment. They're like international, they're from far off places, people in institutions, media, publishing, spirituality, anything to do with legal aspects. This looks fantastic for something just anchoring and landing. That's auspicious, uplifting, life-giving, just feels like a very inspired day on the 15th of you attracting in and expanding the mind and the body. It's a great day on the 15th. On the 22nd, your ruling planet Venus then squares off with Pluto in your fourth house. Uh, Something going on in the home, family dynamics, could be anything going on. This could be as simple as a kettle blows up or finally the pipes break. There's a sense of loss to bring in new freshness or transformation. So it could have anything to do with the home, family, parents, parenting, real estate and property concerns. Your sense of sanctuary is disrupted. It's affecting you head on because it rules your first house of the self, the body, how people see you. Something difficult to navigate on the 22nd of September. This is astrology. We don't all get out of this, carefree and light-footed. We've got things that happen. And for you on the 22nd, it's got to do with your fourth house of anything that feels solid and secure is getting disrupted. The same day, Venus then ingresses into Scorpio, your ruling planet, in its detriment sign because it's ruled by Mars, your natural opposite planet, until October 17. And this is your second house of resources, assets, possessions, investments. This house is where you go out and learn new skills and develop niche skills that support the self, the body, your image, who you are. Learning something is always an asset that improves the self. So these are the subjects that are up for you when Venus, your ruling planet, ingresses into the second house of finance. So money on your mind. Creating balance, fairness, equality. But being very passionate about it. You're very fixated on establishing very firm boundaries with your resources and possessions and your assets. You could also feel tension in your money house when you have your ruling planet transiting here from the 22nd of September till October 17, 2024. Mercury, our personal planet of travel, intellect. This planet is very cerebral, loves connection, loves to socialize, just like Venus. Mercury also rules markets and finance. Opening up the month, Mercury is continuing its transit, in Leo, that loud, proud zodiac sign of Leo, your 11th house. Beneficiaries and allies that support your career, your public image, authority figures that are helpful. Anything to do with being in the public eye is favourable. In developing people that support you when Mercury is transiting here in your 11th house, that supports your 10th house. Mercury in the 11th, socializing with friends, socializing with different groups, getting into public relations, looking at charities, ironing out what is your goals, what's your long-term visions for the goals, where do I want to travel, for example. This is how Mercury could be playing out for you when it's transiting in your 11th house, the sign of Leo. On the 9th, Mercury then ingresses into Virgo, your 12th house. And this is Mercury's exaltation and domicile sign, this zodiac sign. It really likes being in over-analytical, highly critical, very detail-oriented zodiac sign of Virgo. Up until the 26th of September. So from the 9th to the 26th of this month, you've got Mercury transiting very happy in the zodiac sign of Virgo, your 12th house of hidden enemies, institutions, hospitals, international and far off places, retreats, taking time out to connect with your spiritual parts of the self. This is where we transform our philosophies about life when Mercury is transiting here in a very strong sign in Virgo. We're cleansing and purifying something connected to our thought processes, our intellect, our communication, and things to do with finance and travel. So this is what you can experience when Mercury is transiting in that 12th house. On the 18th, Mercury opposes Saturn in your 6th. That is retrograde. Now, Mercury opposing retrograde Saturn. Mercury is on fire, if you will. Think of Mercury just on high octane in its domicile and exaltation sign in your 12th house. Just firing on all cylinders, opposed to Saturn being very slow, very deliberate about services, work, co-workers, health issues, pets. These are the things that could be grinding on this day, on the 18th of September. On the 25th, Mercury then opposes retrograde Neptune on the 6th house. Mercury again, let's go, go, go. Let's talk, let's travel, let's make decisions, let's do this, let's get things sorted, is opposed to retrograde Neptune. Why? What's Mercury opposed to? It's opposed to Neptune making practical decisions because it's retrograde, it's not direct. Mercury's opposed to Neptune, understanding the repercussions of its actions connected to work, health, services, or establishing a loss of services as well, could be something that Mercury is pointing out on this day, the 25th. Then on the 26th, Mercury ingresses into your first house until October 13th. Mercury in the first house for you, Libra rising. Communication, travel, information. It's where we connect with people. It's very social. So lots of understanding or processes unfolding between the self and Mercury, and which is other people, your thought processes, your communication, documents, legal contracts, anything to do with connecting, anything to do with finance is highlighted. So you're connecting, or these subjects are going to be really influencing your body, who you are, your image, how people see you. This is what you can experience from the 26th of September up until October 13. So you're integrating. There's lots of busyness and interaction and movement. Contracts. This is where it all happens when Mercury ingresses into your first house from the 26th to October 13. What a month, Libra rising, right? So much going on. Yeah, we finally got there. I trust you got some value from this video. You may need to take down some notes to reference back to during the month because there is so much going on. But it's going to be different because it's a change of season. It's eclipses. It's the beginning of the end of something that has always been. We're changing things up now, which is good. That's what life is about. If you find value in this video, this content, please consider liking the video, pushing on a bell notification to receive the latest postings I upload if you like my work and have my style. If you want to share the content, I encourage that for other people that may also be interested in astrology as well. Consider subscribing if you haven't done already. It's really helping the channel. The channel is slowly growing, and it's all thanks to astrology enthusiasts such as yourself. So thank you. And thank you for putting me out there and, giving me that little boost by hitting the bell, giving me a thumbs up, sharing the video and subscribing. These little things actually mean a lot to content creators such as myself that really want to keep doing what they love. And what I love is astrology and tarot. I love talking about the planets and the symbology. I just love it actually, especially aspects playing out in real life and coming to fruition, and then people commenting on it in the comment section below and go, that makes sense, this happened or this didn't happen. We're not here to dumb down astrology, but it's good to actually see results when we're talking about aspects, or what we can think happens on this day actually occurs. So feel free to interact and leave any comments in the comment section below. Okay, Libra rising, thank you so much for tuning into the video. I'll catch you next time. I'm your Cosmic Girl 101.